Hi guys, welcome to another video. In this video today I was thinking what would I really want if I was starting to go out to the woods, start prepping, do bushcraft and go outdoors. So in this video is just a bit of an informative one on really if you're starting out, what should you buy, what should you do, what should you learn in order to improve your outdoor ways and that sort of thing. So to kickstart, I'm going to show you the gear that I would recommend you buy and really what you shouldn't do when you're actually first starting. So really the first thing that I want to bring up while doing this video was what shouldn't you do when you're starting all these things. First thing is not to copy other people's kit. So a lot of people when they first start look at all these YouTubers and all these outdoors people and think to themselves, oh, I need that, I need that, I need that. Really, you don't need it. You need to build up your own experiences to form the gear that you make. So here's what I would recommend you carry when you first start. And really you shouldn't really be spending more than a couple of hours in the woods, really, if you're just starting. And you just need to get comfortable with your surroundings and what you're doing, skills-wise. So, really, pack-wise, just an ordinary bag. This here is just an Element. I think it's an old Mohave pack, and I've had this for years and years. It's never let me down. And it's just an old school bag, really. But it's a decent size. It doesn't have a waist strap or anything. But you just really, if you're young, like I did when I first started, I just used my school bag. And really that's worked, and I sort of made the mistake a couple of weeks after just starting into the woods of buying a really expensive pack, not basing the experience, not trying it on, not really looking at it, just from the way it looked and the aesthetics of it. And that really was quite a bad thing for me because I've spent all this money on this extra gear and really I didn't actually need it. So really, a good bag, just a school bag. Remember, you'll get a pack that suits you in time when you start. If you really want to get into the hobby, you can do that. Second thing I'd recommend is a book. This is the Ramir's Essential Bushcraft book, and really it's an absolutely brilliant book. It tells you everything you need. It's quite an expensive book, but really it tells you all the skills you need and what you can do, really, and also it goes over topics of kit, so it can help you out when choosing your gear. I bought this book straight off because I thought it was a fantastic book. I've read it before over a friend's house. I thought I needed it, and it's just a brilliant all-round guide to what you should do. Now, the reason why I'm telling you to buy a book is instead of watching videos is as well, it's just something to carry on you. You can't always have the internet, and some people may have the luxury of having unlimited data and things like that on the internet wherever they go. But sometimes you might not have signal and things like that, so it's good to have this with you. Next item is a small cook kit. It's not a very expensive one. This is an Esbit, and inside this kit, when I get it out, is a small pot. And really, you only need a small pot for cooking on. Even if you don't, you can just cook things in tins, as in it's a bit more heavy. But if I'm just cooking rice or anything, there goes the pot lid. It's an easy pot. It's very cheap, very inexpensive, but it's lasted me years. It's just got a small top. Inside here I've got a buff, and this is if you use things like hexi blocks or firelighters. It's got a little stove, and it's got this little bit by here which helps contain things like bioethanol if you're into using that sort of thing. I personally wouldn't recommend you doing that because really you want to build your skills up, especially if you're doing anything, if you're doing survival, if you're doing prepping or bushcraft. Really, you shouldn't really use that sort of thing. You should just get out in the field and just use your surroundings, really, to make what you can. As in, you can use them, and they're good in the early stages when you're really desperate, but and they're good in survival packs in an emergency. But really, day to day, you don't want to have to rely on them. You want to rely on what's around you. And of course, the small pot. It's only a little 400ml pot, but it's absolutely bomb-proof. I was expecting the plastic handles on this to melt, but I've really beaten it up and put it in fires and used it, and it's been absolutely fantastic. It's a really good little kit. It's about £14 on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. As an absolutely brilliant pot. And of course I've got the little buff in there. That's just to stop it clanging. As in just a little bandana or a handkerchief. As in really. And you can use it to clean out your pots, also to refill water. Of course, it also comes with a netting. A really good method you can use to clean your pot is actually putting the cooking pot inside and just putting it in a stream for a couple of hours, and it will just all the muck and crap off it will just come off straight off into the water. So it's a quick and easy method, but you do risk the losing your bag. Next is a tarp, and really a lot of people go out and buy really expensive tarps. You don't need really expensive tarps. This was from the Poundland, of course costing me £1, and it's a brilliant little tarp. I'm going to be honest, I'm absolutely amazed how long it's lasted me, and I've used it multiple times and it's never really let me down, and I'm really impressed with it. But the thing is, most people do buy these expensive tarps and they don't really get to use them. This, I've used it because I wanted to actually get out, and buying an expensive tarp, buy it when you know you're going to use it and you like that style of bushcraft or survival. So a lot of people like tents and that sort of thing being enclosed, but really a tarp's probably your best option. As well, carrying a tarp as well as a tent, you can have a little workstation out of the rain when you need it. Of course, I upgraded to a more expensive tarp at a later date, and this is a Combat UK MTP tarp. It's heavy, it's bigger, it's more thick and like hard wearing, and really there's not a huge difference with this tarp and that tarp, apart from the fact this is bigger, thicker and a little better, but also the price. This is about £25. This cost me £1. As in, when you're starting out, do you really want to spend that extra bit of money? Next is a bit of paracord. This here is just a little bit of cheap paracord I bought online, and really just even a bit of rope or string to hang up your tarp. You don't need that much, but having a bit of cordage like this, you have to hang up the tarp, of course, and that's the thing if you're going to buy that. But as well, you can use it for getting fires going, tying things up, making little things in the woods, so like fire protector walls, tying up shelters. As in, having a lot of cordage is really important. Next is fire making, and I have got Swiss Army Farmer here, that's the next thing, but I've also got a little fire steel on here. And as you can see, it's been well worn. This is a very cheap and expensive. I bought it in a little survival kit from Mountain Warehouse a couple of years back, and I thought, I'll stick it on the Swiss Army knife, and I'm really glad I had this on me, because I've used it hundreds of times probably now, for just little one-strike fires onto birch bark, and it's really been absolutely amazing. It saved me having to spend more money on matches and lighters. Next is a little pack of survival matches. These are NATO standard. There's a bit of cotton wool in, and they got big heads on them, so when you do use them, they've got all this extra stuff to help you. You can use normal matches, but having these survival ones they are better. As in, you just got to make sure you don't buy stormproof matches. You want to buy waterproof matches, because if you buy stormproof, the chances are they don't get a big flame on them. That's another thing. As in, these retail for about £1. As in, they're not expensive and they're very useful, especially for someone starting out who can't use the fire steel and needs a lot more practice and needs to get a fire going. Next is the knife. A lot of people say you need big tools like a big knife, a big axe, you need a machete, and you need things like that, and really it's all a bit stupid. And really you don't need to buy unnecessary items like that. When I started out, I bought this and I still use it. It's a Swiss Army Farmer. This is the Swiss Army Farmer. I will be producing a review for this. I've had it for about a year and it's really never let me down. Here on the knife you can see, I'll quickly deploy the tools for you. Small pocket blade which you can use for feathering and things like that. I've used it quite a lot, as in it comes razor sharp out of the box, but really you do need to sharpen it after a little while, which is relatively easy. You can sharpen it on other metal and you can strop it, which I'll show you how to do in another video. Next item is the saw. I'll just put that knife away. Little folding saw. This is brilliant for this light work and starting to for getting fires going as well, as in sawing up sticks and just shaving them, feather sticking them. As in, this is really good just for a little bit of craft, and it is a very good saw for wear and tear. Next one is a can opener, and this is a very good piece of kit. as in I've opened so much things. And as well as the can opener, you also have a little screwdriver by there, and it just makes a mess of the lids of tin cans. It's absolutely brilliant, as in it's better than most of the ones you actually can buy in the shops. And I prefer it then to having on my keychain one of the little survival military type tin openers, as in this is just brilliant on a little multi-tool. Next, it's I can't remember the exact term for it, but it's like a little hole puncher for leather work, and it is it's a little blade on it by there, as you can see the little edge, and it's really good for striking fire steels. As you can see the residue of my fire steel there, as it is an absolutely brilliant tool. And I absolutely I think it's brilliant. And as well on belts, when you if you don't have the right hole on it, you bought a belt too big or too small for you, you can poke a new hole in with this, as in you sort of dig it in and twist it round, sort of like a screwdriver motion, and it will actually drill a small hole into the leather, which is absolutely brilliant. The final option on it is a larger flathead screwdriver and also a bottle opener, as you see, excuse me, that, and it's very good, as in it does as in you can't really get a very good bottle opener, but it doesn't have any bends or anything. It is just a solid piece of kit. And as well with the screwdriver, I have used it, and it is a brilliant little piece of kit. This is probably the multi-tool I would recommend to everyone. I'm not being paid by Victorinox or Swiss Army for this. This is generally an absolutely brilliant piece of kit, especially for someone starting bushcraft, because you don't need a large knife. On the end of it, I just have a little fire steel. And this is a little fire steel I got out of a survival kit. Absolutely love it to bits, as in it's just trial and error. It's brilliant. I've just got that on a piece of paracord. I've lengthened it because most fire steels are on really short cords, and it's really a bit of a pain to do it. Striking this is very easy, especially with the Swiss Army. The next item is the native survival matches. These are, it says number 4 MK3. It just comes in a little pot like this, like a bit of sandpaper for striking on the top and the bottom. Just unscrew like this. They are watertight. You can see there's a bit of cotton wool in there by there, and there's the matches. Of course this has been used multiple times, and I've used pretty much all the matches. I think it's about 25 per box. I'm showing them light, and I think this might be a Replay Storm one, because I did add them. But you just put them on top like that. Works absolutely brilliantly, and that will get anything going pretty much, with which is relatively flammable. They're relatively inexpensive. You're not going to be spending a lot of money on them, and especially with younger people, they think really, oh, I need to get a big knife. You don't really, as in if you're showing this to your parents because you want to start off bushcraft and that sort of thing, or just a general look, really having a knife, fixed blade, you don't really need it till the later stages, until you're doing crafts work and things like that, and really you don't really want it to bulk up your kit, as in I pack as light as possible, and the knife it's not needed that much. But if you are wanting to buy a fixed blade, I'd recommend a Mora or I think it's a Hunter Law, and they're small knives. They're pretty much exactly the same. They're little woods craftsman knives, and they cost from about £6 to about £10 usually. And they're brilliant knives. They work and they last. I've never owned a fixed blade because I've never seen the need to them. I do own an axe. I will put a little clip of it in. But the other bit, and that's really, they're not needed until the later stages of bushcraft, survival and prepping. But they're all different topics, and preppers will see this differently to survivalists, to bushcrafters. So you need to take that into respect. With bushcrafters, they'll prefer to have a fixed blade because it's more crafting things like spoons and that sort of thing. Survivalists will want a knife because they want to pack as lightly as possible and have as little gear on them as possible. So I can see why they'd have that instead of a Swiss Army knife. Preppers, I used to be a prepper. I don't believe the time will arise where I'll need to use the stuff really, but I still have the gear, and I am still capable of doing the stuff that preppers farmers do, but I see them all having massive knives and that sort of thing. And I said, yes, it's nice to have a big knife because it does have a bit of power, and I do want something like a Becker BK2, but they're good. But really, starting prepping, you just need to build your skills and just have a little bit of a stash really with prepping. So just some tinned food, enough water to last you a couple of days, and just building the outdoor skills if you're bugging out or bugging in. Right, I hope this video has been informative to you. You also would need a canteen of some sort. So a canteen like a water bottle, you can buy cheap military ones for very little money, for less than £2–3 if you know where to look. But make sure they're metal so you can stick them in the fire, and as well so they don't break. I've had a lot of canteens that have broke on me with plastic. You just got to make sure you get ones with good tops so they don't leak in your bag and ruin all your kit. As well with outfit, everything I'm wearing at the moment I bought in charity shops. I know that sounds stupid and a lot of people are going, why would you buy in charity shops? Really, it's cheap. You're going out, you don't really want to spend a lot of money on your clothes. As in, this is a Vans shirt, as in I'm wearing a general green t-shirt, a pair of jeans, a pair of boots. The shirt cost me about £3, the boots cost me £1, the jeans cost me about £2. You don't need that much. You really don't need to spend much money on it, especially as you're going to the woods in them. As in, all you really need after that is a waterproof to keep you dry. And really, I don't think you need to have all that extra equipment. So when it comes to outfit, try not to spend as much money. Also, another another topic I need to cover in this video is unnecessary products. Don't feel the need to buy so much unnecessary stuff. As in, a lot of people buy things, truly ridiculous things. Like I remember buying a 60 box of candles. I bought loads of survival kits I bought online in the little tins, and really I thoroughly regret buying all of them because I wasted all that money on stuff that really I could use but wasn't to the standard I would want it to be. And so really, all this gear here costs very little, but it's good. It's out in the field. It proves to be good. And as well, starting off, you don't need any extra thing. I've probably repeated that a lot of the time, but really, you don't need to spend extra money on things like a bigger knife, as in a better tarp, until you really want to do the hobby and you're really getting serious and you're actually doing it a lot more. As in, it's just going out for a day walk. Really, this is the basic kit, as in that's all you need. You don't need anything else, as well as the canteen, which I did forget to bring with me. My bad. But yes, really don't excess spend on things, and as well, don't go out and buy things like air weapons and shotguns and feel the need that you need one of them if you're prepping, all that sort of thing, because really you don't need it until you've learnt the skills and that sort of thing. Right, I hope this found this video informative. Thank you for watching.